Hey everyone, my name is Farhad, I'm 24 years old and I have been living in Sweden for the last 2 years of my life as an international master's degree student. I'm coming from Azerbaijan, from Baku, which is absolutely different country if you would compare that to Sweden. So in this video I'm going to talk about the facts that shocked me while living here, because soon I'm going to move to Germany for my PhD. About that I'm going to make actually separate videos, but let's say shortly I'm studying HR and my PhD is going to be also about HR studies, human resource management. And also before starting this video I have to say that English is not my first language, so most likely I'm going to make some mistakes while talking, so please excuse me for that. And also, all the things that I'm going to say in this video, it doesn't mean that I don't like Sweden or I compare it in a negative way. No, absolutely not. I love Sweden a lot. I learned its language. I genuinely love its culture, people. I have lots of friends here whom I really love. I mean Swedes. So it's not about complaining, or it's not like a negative video at all. It's most about like comparing what I have been seeing most of my life, and like the facts that shocked me after moving here and starting living here. So let's start this video. The first point of this video is about silence. In Sweden, everyone is very silent. Here I mean that wherever you go, wherever you travel, for example with public transport, or you're just walking outside in the city, you are going to notice that the cities, or like the country itself, is very silent and quiet. And I actually like this fact about Sweden because it gives you some kind of peace inside, because in Azerbaijan, in Baku, where I'm coming from, it's absolutely different. People are talking in public transport often quite loud, or when you're walking like in the main city in Targovo, like in, I don't know how it's called in English, but in Targovo, it's like the main square of Baku, where like we have like stores, like cafes, restaurants, and everyone is there. You always see and hear how people are talking to each other, and it's quite in a very loud way. So you're kind of always surrounded by noise. And in Sweden, it's absolutely, I would say, vice versa situation, if I can say that in English. Like you see that everyone is very quiet, and I really love this fact because it allowed me to let's say concentrate on the important facts of my life and study at my best. However, sometimes, especially in winter, it can be really challenging. The second point of this video is actually a story, like a very short story. Once I've been invited over to my friend's place, and then after 1 hour he asked me to leave. I think it was the first cultural shock that I experienced in my life, because I thought that I did something wrong, or like I felt that maybe I really felt that maybe I did something wrong, or like he kind of wanted to stop the communication with me from that point on. However, after some time I realized that it's actually about saying yes to yourself, because quite often we say no to ourselves and try to please other people. And in Sweden, it's more about the fact that you really have to protect your boundaries. And if you feel that it's time for you to do your own stuff, or you, feel tired, it's absolutely okay to let the other person know that now it's time for you to leave my place. So that guy just asked me to leave his place because he wanted to start doing laundry. So I was kind of... The next day actually we meet, and then we kept being friends for a long time, and we're still friends. So it's not about, again, being rude or being that, or asking me to leave because I did something wrong, but it's just because the way it is in Sweden. The third point is very short, I would say, even shorter than the previous story. It's about punctuality. If you have been asked to come to someone else's house or in a cafe at 5 p.m. and if you're coming 5 or 10 minutes late, let's say it's wrong. You have to be there at 5 or like even 4:55. It's really difficult for me because as an Azerbaijani guy, I'm always late for 5 to 10, 15 minutes. And after 2 years, I actually fixed that in myself. So now wherever I go, I try to leave a bit earlier because I know that unexpected things can happen on my way. So it's good to be on time, let's say. The fourth point is also, again, about guests. Wherever you go or when you invite people, you don't have to actually offer them food. Once I've been also to another friend of mine, I've been like a guest, and I was there like for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and then Nothing. We were just sitting, talking, playing games with some other people, and that was it. I've never been offered food for a very long time. I mean, not only on this occasion, but like always. So I mean, it's absolutely okay for you to not to ask someone eat or like offer them any kind of drinks. I mean, if they're hungry or they want to drink something, they have to ask about it, or like they have to bring it with themselves. However, in Azerbaijan, I remember and I still do that, whenever someone is coming to my place, we always almost beg the person, like, can you please eat something? If you don't want to eat, please do that, because it's like a tradition of, or like a way we live. So I think that this was also a very different moment for me to adapt for. The fifth point is about renting. It's about renting a house or like a place to live, accommodation, let's say. And if you want to get a first-hand agreement, like a contract, then you have to wait for 10 to 20 years. And I'm not joking. In Stockholm, in order to get an apartment, like in a decent place for a good price, from the first hands, you have to wait around 10 years. This is the way system is built. Of course, you can get a place like from second-hand landlords, or like, I don't know how it's called in English, but when someone is renting the place and then renting it to you for the second time, it's gonna be more expensive. And of course, it has its own drawbacks. But most of the time, if you wanna, let's say, keep the price for a very long time or not to be affected by the price changes, then you have to wait for a long time. And you actually have to sign up on the website. I don't know how it's called because I've never did that. I'm living in a student apartment, like housing. So I never needed that. But I think that if you wanna stay in Sweden for a long time, please sign up on the websites as soon as possible, because this is the only way you can get an apartment for a good price in the long term. Otherwise, it's going to be really expensive, especially in Stockholm or Gothenburg, like in big cities of Sweden. The sixth point is about friendship in Sweden. Friendship in Sweden is a very difficult thing to do, like to get new friends. Because, and it's not about like being, let's say, a person who is coming from a different background or like is not speaking your language. So I would say that if you really want to become friends with a Swede, it takes months or even years to build that, because once you get your friendship, then it's forever. Like, it's not about like in maybe, I've heard that in Spain or like countries of Latin America, you always can get easily like become friends with people you have met like for the first time in your life, and then you keep meeting and then you're friends. Or like in Azerbaijan, it's also quite easy. But here in Sweden, even if you're studying together or working together, that's it, you're not friends. And if you really want to become a friend, like with that guy or with that girl, you have to spend like lots of time. You have to be like, you have to invest in that. You have to meet every week or twice, like every 2 weeks or whatever, and really try to make an effort. And it doesn't guarantee that you will become friends, but it's most likely that you will be most of the time, I don't know. So talking about my own experience, I have like maybe 2 or 3 Swedish friends, and not more than that. And most of them are coming from university, I would say. Even, I mean, in university we have like around 15 or 20 Swedes, and only with 2 or 3 I was able to bundle up. I don't know how to say that in English, but yeah, it's really difficult thing to do. And it's kind of connected to the first point of this video, that the country itself is silent, people are reserved, country is cold, people are cold. Everything is cold. Even my apartment is cold, because here people are used to 20 degrees. Like the perfect temperature in Sweden, like in the apartment, should be around 19 to 20 degrees. For me, it's like almost like a fridge. I don't know. I can't tolerate that. And for me, the ideal temperature is around 22 or 23 degrees. So yeah, it's absolutely different. And if you move to Sweden in winter, please be prepared that it's going to be hard. Like, you won't have any friends, you will suffer because of the lack of vitamin D, because of lack of friendships, lack of communication, and so on. So, and actually that's the 7th point of this video that I wanted to make, but I haven't distinguished that separately. That in winter you're going to have like a real psychological challenge, because it's not like getting dark early. Like, we're talking about 3 p.m. sunsets. You're going to the university or like to the work at 9 a.m. in the morning when it's dark, and then you leave around 4 or 5 and it's again dark. So you spend most of the day in darkness. So, and maybe it's now, if you have never lived in Sweden, in Stockholm or in Gothenburg, I mean about the north part of Sweden, because in Malmo maybe things are a bit different, but I don't think so. It's really difficult. Like the first year I was trying to take vitamin D, socialize a lot, like I was training, I'm going to the gym 3 times or 4 times per week, but it didn't help. The first year was really difficult. I mean, now the second year was much more easier. Like I knew the language, I found my friends and so on. So I felt, and also I knew the system, how it works and so on. But really, if you're moving to Sweden, please consider all these facts, and especially like at last but not least, that the winter, like in Swedish, there is like a word for that. I speak Swedish. I don't know whether I told you that. It took me 2 years to speak at the end of the day fluently. And after lots of money and time that I invested into learning process. The word is deprimerad. Jag är deprimerad. Like I am being seasonally depressed. It means that you're depressed because of the winter, because of the coldness, because of everything, because it's now December and the sunset is around 3 p.m. So that's it. So in general, 2 years ago when I moved to Sweden, I actually changed the way I was thinking about friendship, time, systems and silence. And now when I move to Germany, most likely I'm going to be shocked again. If you are interested to follow the path, please subscribe to my channel. I would be happy to talk about that, and I'm going to do that. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed that. See you.